If you've been rocking with me for a minute now, you should know about Envato Elements. It's actually two of my most viewed videos on the channel. Talked about them almost a year or so ago. A few things have changed since then. I've got some questions about it, and more importantly, yesterday I received questions about the licensing of what you can and what you can't do with Envato. At this point, Envato need to be sponsoring the channel. Matter of fact, do me a favor, go on social media and tag them and tell them they need to sponsor Godsend. Being here, one notable change is you actually get a 7-day free trial now. If you click the link in my description down below, or I might put it like in the pinned comment, you can get 7-day free trial. I think it's like unlimited downloads, and I'm not sure what restrictions they may have, but it's 7 days, download what you can get. The main topic of this video is the license, and when it comes to the license, it's one to rule them all, sort of, mostly, kind of. Let me explain. The licensing for items that you download, or items as they call them, pretty much cover anything as far as like YouTube, commercial work, client work, anything like that. The biggest drawback you probably have if you was try to, for some odd reason, make a movie using their assets, you can't. Especially if it's a theatrical release, that's a no-go. And if you try to do like broadcast, like radio, something like that, that's almost a no-go, depending on what you're trying to use. Anytime you download something, you get a one-time use license that you can use for your particular project. So once that project is done, submitted, or published, whatever, the license is no good anymore, technically. If you want to reuse that asset, you basically re-register it, which you register any assets that you download anytime you download something. But you can simply re-register the asset again to reuse it in another project. To re-register the project, you simply go under account, and I'll show you how. Keep the little icon here and go into my downloads, and it show everything you downloaded. Like over here, you actually see the license, and you'll see the content here. Everything on here has a license, so if you get a copyright claim, which is different from a strike can jeopardize your channel. A claim, just basically any time of monetization for that video, will go towards the person who owns said content or claims to own said content. If you know, you know. But otherwise, your channel is not in jeopardy. Now, say for instance, I wanted to re-download this asset and click download. Basically, you'll register the project types. You can go to project names. This is basically where you register it. So anytime you download an asset, you get up to 3 different files here, or you can create a new project and register it there. And that's your registration. Then you can download with or without license. You can click this down here. Say for instance, a project you already done, you submitted it to YouTube, they went through the content, a check, whatever, and gave you a copyright claim. You just go here and download the license. First off, you want to dispute the claim, and then go in here and download the license. It's just a text document, so I just go into my documents folder, download it, open and show in folder, and basically want to double click there, just like a little notepad document where you can open up in Word or whatever. Basically, this is the licensing information you need, so when you dispute and they ask you why you want to dispute, just copy this and put this in that folder. And then also for good measure, I usually copy the same information and put in the description of the video. Now, when it comes to music on Envato Elements, you have two different categories. You have pro music and pretty much non-pro music. It's pretty much self-explanatory. Non-pro is just music that's not licensed to any company or any label or anything. Pro music is licensed, and that's where you'll need to download the license to combat any type of copyright claim. Now, of course, on my channel, I talk about DaVinci Resolve, and Envato Elements has a crap ton of stuff just for DaVinci. Envato Elements is actually up to over 1,200 assets just for DaVinci Resolve, and these are technically like add-ons. And so when it comes to add-ons, it's kind of weird. Reading through the license, I'll leave a link for that in the description below, but they're saying that you supposed to uninstall any assets that you download once the project is done. So if you download a transition pack, some titles, some fonts, and all this stuff, once you do whatever project and submit it to your client, YouTube or whatever, you're supposed to delete or uninstall all those assets and not use them again unless you re-register them. I'm gonna be honest, ain't nobody doing all this. Now, ideally, to avoid any problems, when you go through and re-register, go to the profile icon, go to downloads. When you re-download the asset, let's go back here. Instead of just selecting, looks, I got these little 3 folders. I just put everything I download, I just drop into one of these categories. Ideally, you want to create a new project. You want to name it the same as your project. So, like for this video, is Envato Element licensing. I will type that in here in order to have the asset tied to the project. If you want to do that. Now, say for instance, you're doing client work like a commercial or a YouTube video, something like that. You edit and put together and use assets from Envato. When you submit that project to that client, you want to give them the license information as well. So say for instance, if you upload it to a cloud, or maybe you put it on a flash drive and give it to them, just download the license information and put it on there like a folder or something like that. That way they'll have it for their future use, and they can reuse it or they can repost it anywhere. Speaking of reposting, anytime you download an asset and create a project, you can post that project anywhere, like pretty much anywhere. Like I said, you can't put in a movie theater or like use it on broadcast television and radio and stuff, but you can repost it on YouTube, social media, TikTok, all this stuff. You can reuse that project, like whatever the end project is, according to the licensing, you can reuse that end project in any capacity if you want. Now, of course, all this stuff is licensed by who have created it and also through Envato elements, so you can't try to repackage it and resell it or anything like that. That's against the license. Another thing with the license, it doesn't cover you from any additional fees. And what I mean by that is like, say for instance, a hot ticket song or something that's actually on Envato and you want to use it and you get a copyright claim. You submit the license in my experience, just submitting the licenses within like an hour or two, your copyright claim is gone. But say for instance, it's a big ticket song and that particular label doesn't want to release the copyright claim on it. Basically at that point, you have to try to work it out with the label or whatever, which most likely require more money. So basically at that point, you have to pay like the royalty fees or something like that to the label. I hadn't encountered that, and I don't know anyone who has, but that's kind of like in the writing of the license agreement. Other than that, they don't want the assets using anything obscene or any adult content or anything that's absurd or thing like that, discriminatory or stuff like that. Just kind of keep it, PG. And check out my latest video here. Hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you know anytime I upload any new videos. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you later.